Yo, what's going on, guys? ChaseTheBro here, and welcome back to another episode of my class guide series here on For Honor. Today we're going to be examining the KENSEI, which is a quality character. He has great attack, great defense, and great combo capability. The KENSEI is definitely one of the easier characters to get used to at first, but to master him takes a little bit of practice. When I first picked up this character, his attacks felt a bit sluggish to me, but then I learned his range and learned how to time it accordingly, and it worked out pretty well in the end. But let's get into the basics, guys. The first combo we're going to look at is the Dawn of Steel Sun, which is the KENSEI's 3-hit light attack combo. Now, any 3-hit combo takes a little bit of skill to get off because after the first hit, your opponent's kind of wary of you and is trying to block the direction that it's coming from. So, as I always say, try to switch up which side you're coming from each time you attack, and you may end up confusing your opponent enough that they will not block it. Moving on to the Spirit of Inevitability, which is his 2-hit light attack combo followed by a heavy attack. And the special thing about this combo is if you follow it up with a top heavy attack, the top heavy is actually an unblockable. So they can't block it, they need to parry it in order to stop it or dodge. And if your opponent is reading you and constantly trying to block the top attack, I'd say switch to the side. You can attack from the side, but it will not be an unblockable. Moving on to Form of the Dragon, which is his 1-hit light attack followed by 2 heavies. Like I say, guys, always switch up the directions you're attacking from, but most of the time when I'm using this combo, I try to finish it with a top heavy because it's an unblockable, which does more damage, and they need to parry or dodge it in order to stop it. They can't just block it. Alright, Doom of the KENSEI, which honestly isn't one of my favorite moves because heavy attacks tend to be on the slow side, and opponents have an easier time reading this, so I often don't use this. If you do get this off without being blocked, you're pretty lucky. Alright guys, the Rushing Sweep is his running attack while not in guard mode. Every character has one of these, but his is actually pretty decent. So I tend to start a lot of my battles with this attack. If you land it, it does a good amount of damage, and it comes out fairly fast. Also, if you manage to connect with this attack while they're on a ledge, it sends them flying off, just because it kicks them back a little bit. Also, notice the godlike character in the background just flying. He doesn't die, he stays forever. Alright, moving on to Helm Splitter, which is his forward dash light attack. Now this attack comes up fairly quickly, so it's great for covering distance if your opponent keeps backing away for you, or it's also a great way to start a combo. So you just dodge in, hit them with the Helm Splitter. It does a decent amount of damage, and it's fairly quick. Swift Strike is fairly similar to Helm Splitter. You just dodge left or right and follow it with a light attack. Now this is great because when your opponent goes to attack you, you can use this as a dodge, and if they attack you while you dodge, you're definitely connecting the Swift Strike. Also, another bonus is the way you're dodging is not the way the attack comes out, so that often confuses your opponent. Now, the Grasping Pounce, which is a forward dodge to your guard break, which is amazing. I think every class should have this. It actually gives you a viable way to do your guard break quickly. This also opens up potential for combos because when you use the Grasping Pounce, you can follow it with an unblockable. I'm going to assume everybody knows what Renown is by this point, but if you do not, Renown is what unlocks your feats in matches such as Dominion, Elimination, and Skirmish. And you gain Renown by killing soldiers, controlling territories, and everything that it lists right there. Revenge mode is pretty self-explanatory, it lists everything right there, but for those of you who have yet to figure this out, when your opponent goes to attack you, if you activate Revenge mode, that will cause them to fall down. Moving on to one of the specifics just for the KENSEI, he has the ability to start any of his combos with the Helm Splitter, Swift Strike, or Guard Break. So if you happen to get one of those off, you can follow it with any of the 3 top combos. So when you're performing the Swift Strike, if you dodge and connect, that can be the beginning of one of the top combos. The same goes for the Helm Splitter, or if you Guard Break, they can all connect to any of his combos. The KENSEI also has the ability to connect any of his throws into a chain finisher, meaning that once you've thrown your opponent, you can use the heavy attack as a connection. I often throw enemies into walls and follow up with the top heavy because it's unblockable, but you can also cancel it to the side heavy. It's really your choice, but just so you know, when you throw an opponent into an object, you can always follow it up with the top heavy and it will connect. Yes, so the KENSEI has the ability to finish any of his combos with a top heavy unblockable attack. So whether it's Spirit of Inevitability, Form of the Dragon, Doom of the KENSEI, he can always follow it up with a top unblockable if you wish. The KENSEI also has the ability to cancel his top heavy finisher once you've initiated it. So after you've initiated, use a side light attack or a side heavy attack, and he will switch to using that move. This is great for confusing your opponent because they expect the top heavy finisher once it's been initiated, so they'll go to parry it or dodge it, and either way it'll leave them susceptible to your side unblockable attack, which is a great strategy for fighting parry kings. Moving on to the zone attack, which for him is a long animation and does 2 strikes, and you can cancel it after the first strike. That way you're not open to attack. But if you want to follow it all the way through, you're uninterruptible during the attack, so it's a great way to finish them off. I believe that covers all the basics of the KENSEI, and overall, I think this character is a really great character. His combos are great, he's great on defense and attack, so I believe he's an amazing start for those of you who want to just master their first character. As always, I want to thank you guys, my viewers, for liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. It helps a lot, and I really hope these videos are helping out all of you who are just beginning this game. I know it takes some getting used to, but I'd say find one character that works for you and stick to it until you get good with that character, and then branch out and try different ones. But I would definitely suggest the KENSEI as a starting class because he has many combos that are pretty easy to perform. He's got a decent amount of health. His attacks do a pretty decent amount of damage, and he's not slow or sluggish. He's definitely in the medium field. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say today. Thanks for watching. ChaseTheBro out.